Hi there, this is my luck, and this is Lotto Lock Tuesday. Now, I have here a Brady 7140. It's another Brady 7140. I've picked one before on this channel. In fact, I've probably picked a couple. But this one's a demon. I am struggling so hard with this one. I've opened it a few times, but as soon as the camera's rolling, it stops playing. it's been an absolute bloody nightmare trying to get this one open for Lock Tuesday. But we'll pop it in the vise and we'll try and give it a pick. Now, getting these things are, there is a screw in the screw hole and they come apart nice and easily. And there's not a lot that can go wrong getting the core out, but they are a bit of a faff to get back together again because of the way you have to sort of seat the ball bearings. But once you get everything sort of steady and set up, it goes together okay. So I'm going to try and pick this one and give it a gut. Like I say, I've struggled, so we'll just see how we get on. Top of the keyway, light tension. So one. There's a max lift right at the front on pin 1, and if you get any core rotation before that pin is set, it seems to block that pin from going up into the Bible. So we've had a bit of pin rotation, core rotation there. Pin 1 feels set. A little bit more movement there. So looking for counter rotation, and 6, 5, up in 3. Let's see, 1, 2. We've got a little click from pin 2, but we've kind of lost some of that full set. We got it back. Go. I've overset pin 6. Pin 6 is now solid, but sitting low. Two, three. Oh, we've got core movement, but it's very stiff. So I think I may have jammed a spring. Yeah, pin 6 is pin 6 feels knackered. So yeah, I'm going to check, make sure the key still works, which it does. So I did have an open air, but didn't feel good. It felt like pin 1's solid, so I've had a little bit of movement from the core, and pin 1, there's just that's just weird. I really want to get an open from this now, so we can pull it apart and have a look to see what's going on. See, I've had a bit of a false set, and 1 is just totally solid. So I'll set pin 1. Let's say pin 4, 5, 2, 3, 5, 3, pin 6, just doesn't want to play. Right, so 1 dropped. I've had movement, so I don't think. Right, pin 6 feels really low, and I'm pretty sure pin 6 is a fairly high set pin. So I'm not sure what's going on there. We've got a bit of a false set, looking for counter rotation. 6 just doesn't feel right. That's 3, 2, we've got a bit of a and 5. There we go, so we've got the open. But I don't know if you can see how stiff that was. So something is just not right. The only thing I can think of is that one of the pins and one of the drivers and the key pin are sitting below the shear, or just on the shear line. So when you rotate the core, it's just causing a lot of friction as you turn the core. We will open this up. I've not had a look in. I've wanted to do it on camera, so there we go. Oh, get hold of my balls. go. So, one is a standard, and I'm going to drop it in there. Yes, so it does. It drops right down to the shear line. So, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now I'm going to tip out the springs. Well, that's quite good. They don't look damaged, so that could be worse. So we've got one standard and chamber 1, and then all the rest are little spools. I'm just going to drop them in there so we can maybe see what was causing the issues. And I thought pin 6 was another one that was giving me trouble. So if the camera will focus. So pins 1 and 6, they are barely above the shear line. So I think what was happening was one or the other of those, probably pin 6, was sitting. I wasn't setting pin 6, so I was managing to set all the rest because of binding order and whatnot. And can I see a score mark? Yes, it looks like, if I pop that there. So there we go. We can see in here this score mark. That's the top of the driver sitting right below the shear line. Well, right on the shear line with the dome of the spool just above the shear line. So yeah, I think that's what was happening. So yeah, that goes to show. I mean, so pin 1 and 6 must be they are just proud of the shear line. We can see just there. So there's no danger. As you know, I was worried that the spring would get trapped just below the shear line and it would wreck the spring. But there was no danger of that happening. They are just above the shear line, but close enough to the shear line that you can turn the plug in the core, and the spring would ride on the side of the plug here. But yeah, that explains why it was such a nightmare to pick. With these low sitting spools, so 1, probably 3 and 6, you would have to first of all you'd get a click as you lift the top of the spool over the shear line and get into the spool section, and then of course it would act as a normal spool from that point on. So getting that into that falset situation is a lot trickier because you've got this acting as a standard until you've picked it, this acting as a standard until you've picked it, and this one acting as a standard until you've picked it. Let's I think pin 2 is just sitting. Oh, right. Pin 2, the head of the spool is very close. Just a touch on that would get it into the spool section. But it was 1 and 6 that were causing me the biggest problems there. So you can get an open without setting them, but there's an awful lot of friction on that turn. Yeah, let's see, there's a slight bit of damage here. Yeah, so Brady's a mixed bag. Some are a lot easier than others, but yeah, if you've stuck with me through that, I just wanted to pick this, get it, and understand why it was just a lot harder than any of my other Brady's, and that's why it's those 2 max lifts, one at the front, one at the back. They're an absolute nightmare. So thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good one.